Question 3 tonight is about the cocktail music or dinner time music. There's a trend that we're hearing from more and more DJs about mixing that time, where it's actually maybe doing the picking and playing and segueing songs back and forth. And some people are actually going to the point of still playing some of those kind of upbeat but not dance songs, but actually going through and beat mixing and having a complete kind of an endless flow that way. First off, yes, no, do you guys do anything like that? Or, in my personal case, I've got some really cool playlists that I put together. And in Virtual DJ, I have it, in the auto mix, and I let it go. That's during that time frame, because I've curated this list of really kind of a neat cocktail time that I want that type of thing to play, because it sets up the dance the way I want it to be ready to go when that time comes. So I don't do it, but what have you guys, what's your experience and thoughts?
I think it's my turn. I don't do it either. I think I've read on it. I think it sounds really cool, but I'm out dismissing tables. I'm one of those DJs that dismisses tables, talk to the table, team bride, team groom. I will literally carry the bride's plate. So the very first thing I do is I dismiss a head table and 2 family tables, and then I go carry the bride's plate from the buffet to her table, and I'll grab them a drink. That so many people see that, it's like, oh my God, that is so cool. And I'm dismissing the remainder of the tables. I'd love, if I ever get a chance where I'm not dismissing tables, I think I've pigeonholed myself, because I do you get a lot of referrals into dismissing tables, and a lot of venues know that I do that. I think I pigeonholed myself into dismissing tables till I die.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, though. I mean, if especially if the venues like what you do, that.
I have a great time with it. Yeah, I talk to every table. Where are you from? What's going to get you on the dance floor? You team bride, you team groom, using their names, of course. But just kind of chatting with them. And then you get to the last few tables, you're like, look, I give you a piece of advice. When you go to a wedding, don't sit in the back, bro, because you're going to get dismissed last. So he's trying to sit closer if you're really hungry. Stuff like that. Just kind of talking to people.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
Dan, how about yourself?
I don't. However, I have one coming up that it's expected that I'm going to have something during cocktails. Now, the reason why I say expected, it came up in our consult meeting, and we were talking about different things and trying to figure out, am I going to be a good fit and whatnot. And they're like, during cocktails, like what. We really don't want just a song to play and then the next song to play and then the next song to play, right? Like the style of music that we're wanting for this, like we want it to flow together, and we don't want any silence. And so they weren't necessarily talking beat mixing, but they wanted something a little bit more. But I will say this, at the venue that I'm going to be at, that's setup number 3. Setup number 3 does not get a controller and everything ready to go. So what that means is I'm going to be pre-mixing it in my basement, recording it, loading it onto the iPad, and then the iPad's going to play it back. So it's going to have that mix aspect, but it's not going to involve me the day of. I would encourage anybody, if you're in Cubby's situation where you're doing a lot of things for the venue, for the couple, whatever might be the case, whether it's for dinner, during cocktails, like cocktails, I'm out there trying to help make sure that they're staying hydrated if they're in the sun and they're dealing with the photographer. I'm lining them up. I'm doing a bunch of different things, and I'm not working with anybody else. So there's nobody else to mix for me or to do that for me. I'm doing it. So I've never mixed because I'm busy. But after having this conversation with the couple, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards taking some of those playlists like John's talked about that I've got curated and finding a way to mix them together. And then that's what I'm playing back.
That would make sense.
And maybe I only have one that goes an hour, but then it gives me an extra, and then I maybe start doing some fade stuff after that, but it gives me an hour to do all the things that I might want to do. One of the things I really like, and I stole it from Mike Walter, he had at one of the conferences, one of his seminars, he joked and he quickly put up a link that went to his Doors Open music. I happened to see that seminar twice. So the first time I wasn't ready. The second time my camera was ready. And so I got that link, and that door is open. I love it. I love the vibe. I love the feel. The song selection is great, and it's mixing. So while they're coming in and I'm lining up, I've got 30 minutes of music to do the things that I need to do. So it's really kind of gauged me a little bit to lean towards it. I just have to make myself take the time to actually set up those mixes and record them.
Interesting. I guess I really hadn't thought about doing them in advance like that, but that would actually work. Yeah. I mean, that's really flashing back to the days when we were transitioning from vinyl and we were using tapes. So we were making, because of the having to rewind the tapes, do how you had to do that. We were putting songs in three. Granted, it was a song, and you would re-record it, so it'd be song, song, song. There was no fade. It was basically just tight. But now we had a 3-song set, so you had 10 minutes of you start this tape and you've got 10 minutes there. You start this tape, these 2 songs are together over here, so that's a 5-minute one, and then you can pop tapes in and out and give yourself a little bit more time, especially with the older music pre-mixed like that or pre-set.
I'm like John. I've pre-curated lists, but they're not mixed like you're going to do, Dan. That's a really great idea.
Yeah. That could be, because you could do it, set it up at different intervals. Like, okay, here's a half-hour version, here's a 20-minute version, and have some fun with that. Good idea. All right, let's jump to the next question here.